Alrighty, I got the timing right this time. If you're looking down below, I think what you can see down below is exciting, fantastic news. I've gone 18 shows since the last freakout. That's right, 18 shows in a row. Today I'm going to go for number 19, and I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I like my chances. Why do I like my chances? Well, this is the Friday show, and usually by the end of the week, by the end of the writing week, my writing week starts Sunday and ends Thursday. By the end of the writing week, I have run out of the. Yeah, I only have so much to give. I guess I'm a limited person in my capacity to produce. So by the end of the week, I'm so tuckered out, brain matter wise, not physically, that I think that on the main Friday shows, I think it's going to be all right. I think we're going to be all right today. I don't want to be hubristic or anything like that, but I'm feeling like 19. I'm going to be able to change that thing to 19 before this show ends. Guess what, folks? Buckle up and get ready. And for some of you, you may need this. You may need a little something to get you started, to get you motivated, to get you framed within a perspective where you could hear things that you ain't going to want to hear, because I can guarantee you, I can almost guarantee you, I'm going to say things today that you're not going to like. Hopefully, I'm going to say plenty of things that you like, plenty of things that you don't like. So, for all those don't like times, here you go. Here you go.
Warning, the material you're about to be exposed to is foreign to the minds of individuals who are limited in their capacity to understand the actual reality of power around them, just as you and everyone else alive currently are. What you're about to hear are opinions, suppositions, like gospel or scientific truths, not infallible certainties. Brace yourself for incoming opinions that could confirm or deny your preferential view of the reality of power. Brace yourself for fallible material, fallible opinions, and values reflected, but nonetheless variably firmly held. We do not apologize to anyone in our we do not apologize for daring to express our views and impressions of what we believe is and what we hope to see. We will keep talking so long as we are able.
And now, Frico attempts to talk about the news without freaking out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the plan. The plan is for me, with all the strength and the power that I muster, to talk about the news without freaking out. But just what are we going to be talking about today? Well, we're going to be talking about Coronavilles might be setting off housing crisis 2.0, post-core, schools are failing harder, the anti-progressive, anti-science nature of Coronavilles. Second half of the show, we're going to get Approaching the Blue Light of the Bacterial Brain, a biofilm for Gürol, Süel. Hopefully that'll make sense. Joe must go, so some suspect. AI patent finder machines struggle for property. I didn't read that right. I got to read that right, ladies and gentlemen, because you need to get the right scoop. AI patent finder machines struggle for property rights for the Corpostate creators. Now, I think that's it. That's all that we're going to talk. Actually, those are just some of the highlights. We're going to talk about more than that. But where did all of this stuff come from? Let me tell you, first off, it's all on Frico.com. Everything I talk about here, that's Frico.com. Frico.com. There you see it in all its wonderful power and glory. And it doesn't start there, though. It starts with newsalike.tcom. The glitz, the odd, the under the radar, the hard to believe news at a glance. I curate these links and I send 10 of them links over to Frico and say, hey, Maybe we talk about this. Obamacare.tv, free market social engineering for the masses. I aggregate the crap out of these links until I get 10 of them. Then I say to Frico, hey, I'm Frico. I'm talking to myself. That's what I do. And I say, hey, maybe these. And then I go on over to Pioneering News, pioneeringnews.com, Tech Science Underground News links, and I pick 12 links from there, ladies and gentlemen. And I send that right on over to Frico.com, and I say, hey, what about these 12? And then from those 12, I decide that it's time for me to produce my song for the day. And the song for the day is in these news stories, and it's titled, it's coming up, I Like to Build It Up. There, if you're reading ahead, don't cheat. Don't cheat and read ahead. Fascist Living Through Better Science. That's the title of the show. And with that, let's get to the first segment of the show. That's where we get our groove on, folks. That's where we put this up into the extra overdrives of stuff, and we're gonna do this upright. We're gonna do this upright as we get ready to record. Where is? Hold on. You know what? I can't have you down here. You have to stay up here. I had moved some stuff around, and some stuff needs to be visuals, like the music. I need to know right where that's at all times, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new to the show, then what we're about ready to do here is we do the live stream, and the live stream is also when we record the segments that are the excerpts that we put up on our YouTube channel, our Action Batsa YouTube channel. So here we go. We're gonna do the headlines now in 3, 2, 1. This is the talk headlines for Frico Talks the News on Friday, May 1st, 2020. My name is Frico with Frico.com, and this is our top headline. Coronavilles might be setting off the housing crisis 2.0, and we're going to be looking at an excerpt from Yahoo News. But first, get the Frico Talks Daily delivered to your email at Frico.com daily. Well, /daily. Get it right, son. You can also go to Frico.com, by the way, if you want to check out some of the news poems in their just poem form. So it's the news poems, sans the news part, just the poems. Those are posted there as well. A number of other things that you could find at Frico.com. Let's get to that excerpt now from Yahoo News. Let's see. Let's see how we handle this. I think I can get through this, gang. I think I can. Fannie Freddie escape plan at risk of collapse in mortgage chaos. Homeowner. All right. Good. We're okay. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac face strong headwinds from the mayhem Coronavilles has spread through the mortgage market. Is it Coronavilles? Well, it's all Coronavilles, so it's all of a piece, but it's not. It's not the mayhem. It's not really the mayhem of Coronavilles necessarily, in the very narrow perspective that you want us to contain it when you use the word virus instead of vills. I see what you're doing. Yep. There's a lot of human decisions that have been to blame for the catastrophic misery that this land is experiencing at this present moment in time. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Let's continue. Complicating the Trump administration's plans to free them from U.S. control anytime soon. I don't get that. Are they talking about the Defensive Production Act thing? I missed something there. Did you guys miss something there? The companies, which backstop roughly $5 trillion of mortgages, might have to set aside huge amounts of money to cover the risk of souring home loans. They may also take a hit from the pain being inflicted on non-bank mortgage servicers as millions of borrowers delay making their monthly loan payments. Meanwhile, the outlook for the U.S. housing market, the engine that powers Fannie and Freddie's profits, looks bleak. Wait, I got to change into my bleak voice now, all right? I'm going to try this. Wall Street will get its first look at the pandemic's impact on Fannie and Freddie when they report first quarter results later this week. Weak earnings or discouraging revelations about the extent of the mortgage mess would be a setback for the White House, according to analysts. Administration officials and regulators have repeatedly said Fannie and Freddie need solid financials and a healthy U.S. economy to eventually raise the tens of billions of dollars they require from investors to survive outside the government's grip. This crisis is dashing hopes for a quick exit from conservatorship. Oh, that is what they're talking about. They're talking about the U.S. government having its claws in everything, which, yeah, that happened. By the way, that happened bigly. All kinds of stuff happened. There's like there's like layers of stuff that's going on here. There's like fingers inside fingers wrapped around fingers, entangled in the coils and the incestuous confabulations of the Corpostate, whatever crapo you want to term it. Basically, it's a small number of individuals who have their fingers in every pie that you could imagine America or the world has, for that matter. So these folks, they tend to control all they don't control all aspects of your lives, but all aspects of your easy material lives, I'll say. That's what they control on the main. And they also control on the main a significant imbalance of force influence upon the world compared to the many. One individual within their group commands more actual force influence in this world than 100 million Americans in one voice ever could. That's the level of imbalances of power that we're talking about here. When you break it down to when the battle begins and then the forces are called to bear with the forces, emphasis on the word literal force, physical, I will shut you down and end you as a human, as a sentient being kind of force application. That's what we're talking about here, and that significant imbalance of power is in the hands of these very same people that are in the midst of renegotiating the terms of what will, by their desires, what will define the limitations of our ability to interact with even our own kind amongst the pores, so to speak. We, the whole pores. And there's some millionaire pores, and there's but I'll tell you one thing: if you're not a millionaire, no matter who or what you think you are, you're almost certainly not a citadelian or a vassal. You have to at least be a millionaire to be in that group at all, to be in the vassal level. Anyway, I won't get into all that. I'm trying to keep these things narrowly focused. So I've spent probably about on the main about 3-4 minutes on the story, and that's how much I should limit these headlines. I put them here for a reason. I need to follow my own advice. That's what I'm doing for you, the people. Is remdesivir the Coronavilles silver bullet? Signs point to yes. I had to do it. Come on, everybody. I'm really LARPing on that, though. Just so you know, this headline, I am LARPing on those headlines. This is a headline LARPer. Yes, I just love doing that, though. That signs point to yes. I will do that a lot. Excerpt from Channel News Asia. U.S. says remdesivir shows clear-cut effect in treating coronavirus. Some, I don't know, scientists? I don't know what that was supposed to be, if I missed off something. Scientists on Wednesday hailed a potential breakthrough in the coronavirus fight as a trial showed patients responding to antiviral drug remdesivir, fueling global hopes for a return to normal. The medical news was enough to propel a rebound on Wall Street even after data showed the pandemic had plunged the United States into its worst economic slump in a decade. And Germany predicted its biggest recessions since the aftermath of World War II. That's bad. That's bad. Because the aftermath of World War II, there were, I don't even know how many cities of Germany that were literally leveled. Look up Dresden. Matter of fact, read Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. That's a beautiful book. Beautiful poetry in that book. Wonderful. One of my favorite. That was back in the time when I used to read. I used to read novels. I actually did. I read the quote-unquote classics. That was one of the books I got during that period. Thankfully, I had that period. I don't have the patience to read novels anymore. Maybe I'll get it back someday. Anyway, in the first proof of successful treatment against the illness that has claimed more than 226,000 lives globally, a clinical trial of the drug remdesivir showed that patients recovered more than 30% quicker than those on a placebo. Dr. Anthony Fauci, who oversaw the study, told reporters at the White House, "The data shows that remdesivir has a clear-cut, significant positive effect in diminishing, and I cut it off. I don't know how that happened. But listen, we'll never touch again. Listen, I am a virgin. I confess I am a virgin. I have never had sex with anyone or thing. Therefore, I find it hard to believe that you people find it hard to believe, and you won't take me serious when I say sex can never happen again. We are all virgins now." I'm sorry. Just had to do that. Needed to be done. Everybody knows it. Secretly, you're like, what is he saying? What is he saying about our beloved science leader? What is he saying about our beloved science leader? Doesn't like him? Sounds like he doesn't like him. Making fun of him. Sorry. If you like the guy, I'm sorry, but some people call him Fascist Fauci, and I'm sorry, but I kid. I wouldn't think he's not a fascist Fauci. He's no. Let's just never mind. You know what? Just leave it. Just leave it. Walk away. All right. Fluid flow of power from superchiral light. As near as I can figure it. I think that says it all. I think we read that title, you're like, I don't have to read the article. I already got it. Excerpt from Tech Explorist. World's first metasurface laser that produces superchiral light. In this study, scientists devised a laser that emits any desirable chiral state of light with full control over both angular moment, that's AM. Come on, do you really need that? Do we need to see AM? Unless you're going to do AM again throughout, do you? I don't know. I don't think you do. I don't even think you do. Components of light, the spin, polarization, and orbiter angular momentum. OAM of light. The laser design is made possible by the complete control offered by new nanometer sized. That's 1,000 times smaller than the width of a human hair. That's something. That's a little bit. That's on the. Do you realize that they can create nano machines within that space? They could create, I don't even know how many nano machines could actually compose one strand of hair, but it's possible. It might be in the millions just down one human strand. They could actually be your strand of hair. You'd never have to go bald again, because wherever you start to lose hair, like the nanos would automatically fill you up, man. Fill you up until you're 300 years old. Still fine, because the nanos are still like got a full lush head of hair. And it's the kind of hair, whatever kind of hair you want, that's the kind of hair you got. No more extraordinary people. Wow, that'd be cool. But anyway, let's get to what they have to say here. The laser design is made possible by so that's the 1,000 times smaller than, that's tiny. And it's designed by the Harvard group within the laser. The metasurface is made up of many tiny rods of nanomaterial, which alters the light as it passes through. The light passes through the metasurface many times, receiving a new twist every time it does so. Professor Andrew Forbes from the School of Physics at the University of Witwatersrand, Wits, in Johannesburg, South Africa, said, "What makes it special is that the material has properties impossible to find in nature, and so is called a metamaterial, a make-believe material. Because the structures were so small, they appear only on the surface to make a metasurface. The result is the generation of new forms of chiral light not observed from lasers until now, and complete control of light's chirality at the source, closing an open challenge. There is a strong drive at the moment to try to control chiral matter with twisted light. And for this to work, you need a light with a very high twist. Super chiral light. I'm going to stop reading in that voice because I didn't realize that. I think I'm not going to read any more of that. There you go. So, well, actually, no, never mind. This is here we go. This is the most important one. I should have just went right to this one. I shouldn't have. Sometimes I put in a little bit. It's difficult sometimes. You don't always make the right choices. I want to get my excerpting down to it. I'm getting better, and I'm going to get it better, even better. You'll see. I got stuff that I'm working on this weekend. This site is going to take on some stuff. Some stuff's going to happen. We can use this type of light to drive gears optically where physical mechanical systems would not work, such as in microfluid systems to drive flow. Using this example, the goal is to perform medicine on a chip rather than in a large lab, and is popularly called lab on a chip. Because everything is small, light is used for the control, to move things around and sort things, such as good and bad cells. Twisted light is used to drive microgears to get the flow going and to mimic centrifuges with light. Wow. So, twisted light is used to drive microgears to get the flow going and to mimic centrifuges with light. You're talking about, in essence, you're talking about being able to create a little micro resource of power, a micro resource of impetus, whatever. So you could, at the nano level, you could be building very sophisticated machines with these own little power centers built right into them. Microfluidic systems to drive flow. Wow. I mean, folks, that's pretty awesome stuff, if you ask me. Yeah. It is. These are kinds of stories out there that I like to cover that show you. It is in so many ways, it is absolutely a great time to be alive. A lot of hope. A lot of hope. As usual, what I will add to these stories, as I always do, is we just want to make sure that this technology is not hoarded by the Citadelians and locked inside their intellectual property patent vaults away from the pores, so that they can continue to hold on to their significant imbalance of power between us, imagining that somehow that we do not have the capacity to produce the sophistication of thought that they alone imagine they have. Anyway, I probably have to obligatorily, eventually maybe I'll have like a little speech thing I get it down to like a 15-second clip of the right words. And so like, okay, this is one of those stories. This is a great one. I just want to repeat this because this bears repeating. And it does bear repeating. That's the thing. Especially because you never know. In most parts, people that watch your video, that's the only video they saw. And I want to make sure whenever I cover these things, I keep getting that message out there about the significance, the importance of fighting against this IP patent hoarding that is going on. And it's increasingly more important when we're talking about technologies like artificial intelligence and augmenting our intelligence with these types of programs and systems. We need to have sovereignty over these systems, like individual sovereignty. This means the patent wars must end. That's what it means. So this is the end of the headline segment, and I encourage you to go to Freako.com and sign up to get Freako's Daily Freaks. And you can also just enter your email there for free at Freako.com/daily. This is the 4 p.m. show on the Action Batsa YouTube channel. Coming up next on the Action Batsa YouTube channel is going to be the 5 p.m. show, and that's the talk feature. And the title for the talk feature is going to be Post-Core Schools Are Failing Harder. That's what you get to wait for at 5 o'clock. But if you're watching live on dlive.tv/Freako, Freeqo, You don't have to wait. Alrighty. Alrighty. All right. No, I don't want to go there. Oh, here we go. You know, I had this thing to be able to go to the. Oh, I didn't do it. I didn't remember to do it. I have a new setup. This is like the transition. So at the end of the headline segment, what I plan on doing, or hopefully I'll remember to do it the next one. So when I get to the end of the story, then I'm going to flip over here. See, I should have been doing. And then I would go to, after the headlines, I went up too far. Hold on, folks. Y'all have to be patient with me. Well, you don't have to be. You don't have to be anything. But when I got to the end of the headlines, then I would switch over to here. And then I would do my spiel that you heard at the very end that I do. I would have done that here instead. And I would have done a little thing there, and then I would have done here. And then I would have scrolled down here and announced the title there, and then clicked off. So I'm going to try to remember that. That's why I have the action bots. Oh, I got to mention this. Before I forget. YouTube.com, Action Bots, YouTube channel. I'm blowing up, ladies and gentlemen, blowing up. Because last week I had 92 subscribers. And I now have 101, which also means I now have a URL of my own, as you can see. YouTube.com/ActionBatza, ACTIUNE, Batza, BAZA. That's right. So also you'll see I got the BitChute up there. BitChute, I am posting all of my excerpts up on BitChute. Now I am having some issue with DLive.tv where on my computer, in my browser, I can hear the show in the beginning, and then at some point during the show, I can't hear it. And people routinely say, I can't hear you. So there's something going on, which I still haven't figured out. However, I have noticed I can play it if I listen to it on my DLive app on my phone. I can hear it just fine at any point, and I can also hear the DLive show fine in every part after the replay. So I am just going to continue to work on trying to nail down what exactly is going on there. It might be an issue with Streamlabs. I'm not sure. But at any rate, let's get ready to get back to, well, we're going to go to the feature segment. That's what we're all talking about. But I am going to take our little Hello Kitty break there. Hello Kitty. That's the official water cup of Frico Talks and News, and that's all I drink during the shows is water, because I'm a decent human being. I think that's what decent human beings drink in general, especially when they're doing shows. They drink water, right? I'm a decent human being, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's all about. All right, get ready to record the talk feature in 3, 2, 1. This is the talk feature for Frico Talks the News on Friday, May 1st, 2020. That's right, May 1st. I'm Frico with Frico.com, and our talk feature today is going to be Post-Core Schools Are Failing Harder. But before we go there, you know, I'm going to say something different than what this says here. I want you to pay me money. I want you to give me as much money as you can if you're a gazillionaire. If you're not a gazillionaire, I'm not talking to you. You just enjoy yourself. But if you're a gazillionaire, you know what you did. You know I'm right. Give me your money. Go to frico.com/tips, and you'll see. And you can also go on the site and you'll see a little button and send me some PayPals. You can send me $2, $1, $5, or if you're a gazillionaire, you send me whatever. We'll keep that between us, but you get nothing in return. Nothing in return other than you get to feel good about yourself for a day. A day, that's all you get, is one good day of feeling good about yourself. Let's get to Post-Core Schools Are Failing Harder. I went through the full flavor and excitement of Common Core a few years ago when it first came to the public school my daughter then attended, and she's unschooling now and has been for the last 2 years, in part because of Common Core. In our school, Common Core was first implemented in math, and what I soon came to conclude after learning the Common Core math, because my daughter struggled with it at first, so I worked to understand it so I could help her understand it, was that fundamentally what Common Core was doing, at least in math, and I'd later come to the same conclusion as to how it works in reading as well, was removing the shortcut methods for how human beings process data. Common Core sought to, and still does, as far as I have seen, not that I'm totally up with it, remove the agency from humans and replace it with a habit of checking your authority before you move. This is what I believe was fundamentally, whether it was I think for the Citadelians, the ones that funded and chose, I think they knew what they were doing. I think that maybe possibly they picked, I think the way it usually works on the main is they're not coming up with these ideas. It's much better for you to pick ideas that have organically emerged. What you want to do, though, is corrupt them. Well, by corrupt them, I mean you want to inject your agenda into it. You want to make them your vehicle of power. Maybe in and of themselves, Common Core might have, I don't know enough about it to say whether there was any kind of initial impetus from those that started this train of thought, or whether maybe it was one of those, because sometimes it is homegrown within the family, so to speak, and most of the time, though, it's much better if it's something that emerged from outside the gate, so to speak. It has much more authenticity when it's done, when it's that way. So I don't know the case of, I would have to learn more about Common Core, but whatever it was intended to do, if it was, it could very well have been intended, like if I were to be a devil's advocate, it's teaching human beings to analyze things more and not be so passive about the information that they're receiving, but understand the process of how things work. So there's some good to be said about that, but there's it's not an all or nothing. You don't need to apply that type. You don't need to rigorously beat somebody over the head with the same type of interacting with the world when they're receiving and processing data that leads them to some sort of action, like math. You know, your assignment, you're adding it up, so you add it up. So I'll just continue here. Math under Common Core demands multiple extra steps to come to even the simplest problem-solving challenges like basic addition. It is, to me, an effort to deliberately, and this is. Now, when I say this, I want to make this clear. This is what it ends up being. Whether it started that way with whatever groups of people, I don't know enough about Common Core to tell you that. But I can just about guarantee you that more than I can the sun will rise tomorrow, and I'm not even sure it will. I can guarantee you that more than I can the sun will rise tomorrow, that the way that this thing was chosen and implemented, I have no doubt that this is what was put into it deliberately by the ones that knew what it really was. Another Trojan horse. An effort to deliberately condition people to check with authority in even the simplest of actions. Training followers, not human beings of agency, moving through their own stewarding assumptions that serve their particular preferences, not the collective preferences of whoever designed this social engineering tool. And my suspicion is the masterminds behind Common Core, the billionaire, and when I say masterminds, I don't mean necessarily the original thought leaders, authors, the ones that but sometimes it is in-house, so I don't know. But in this case, they are the masterminds are the ones that they got the ultimate version that you got implemented. They're the ones that made sure of what. They're the King Jameses, if you will, and everybody else may very well be a council of translators, if you will. and they decide ultimately what goes in that Bible. And they want to make sure certain things stay in there that sustain and legitimize and even strengthen their particular vehicles of power. So my suspicion is the masterminds behind Common Core, the billionaire citadelians who chose the experts we'd turn into in our quest to homogenize thought, a need that has never been felt by anyone but these same citadelians, fully believed that the results of Common Core would be improved testing, which would placate the parents who associate successful testing results with success in life. These successes would continue to convert sentient human beings into Common Core constant checkers for, quote, proper, unquote, authoritarian steps. Steps designed not to expedite understanding, not to deepen it, but simply to condition human beings to not trust their own instincts. What I call the heuristic institutions that help us move and take action in our interest in expedited ways. Color me surprised to have to now to report to you that these brilliant homogenizers of human thought and action have failed to understand the very humans they are seeking to convert into more useful, more controllable commodities. The big brains and blue bloods of privilege, they got it wrong. And their effort to condition humans to accept the soft power lash of government schooling, social engineering designed to kill agency might very well backfire. Since the results are in, and Common Core has failed to deliver the prize. This prize, the higher scores, despite the massive efforts of our schools to tailor the overwhelming bulk of their school indoctrination training to teach kids to pass these very tests, tests that, even if you do very well on them, offer little to no real-world transferable skills that would equip humans to be able to act on their own preferences. Not the ones the schools are hoping to condition them to seek. So here's an excerpt from Education Views. A report. Now, Education Views, by the way, I have definitely, there's a couple of articles here and there that you see that might cause you to scratch your head, but on the main, Education Views definitely has I'll say a conservative, right-leaning perspective, so keep that in mind. Report, U.S. reading math scores drop after Common Core implementation. Dive brief. Reading and math scores on the National Assessment of Educational Progress have seen historic decline since states implemented the Common Core English and math standards, according to a new analysis by Pioneer Institute, a conservative Massachusetts think tank. Prior to implementation of the Common Core, from 2003 to 2013, scores were on the slow rise in 4th and 8th grade at the rate of an average of half a point per year. For the past 6 years, however, 4th grade scores have fallen by less than half a point each year, and 8th grade scores have fallen at nearly a whole point per year. Overall, math scores dropped at a faster rate than reading scores. That makes sense, because Common Core math is even way more insidious and counterintuitive than Common Core reading. Losses among the lowest achieving students appear to have wiped out their gains in decades prior to Common Core. Students who were performing in the 90th percentile, on the other hand, have continued to gradually improve, the report shows, and that makes sense, because they'd be able to process the game. And a lot of people in that 90th percentile, for them, this becomes a game. I know my daughter, she did need my help. In 3rd grade is when she got the Common Core math, and it threw her for a loop. It made her cry. It upset so many kids. And we were able to work through it. Once she understood, what I got her to understand, I'm not going to get into it because it'd be a long story, but what I worked on getting her to understand were the core principles of the Common Core math and learning the logic of how they were formulating the problems. And once she understood the logic, then she could get past the mumbo jumbo language and figure out how to do it. And then she did very well. But she still never uses it outside. And well, she doesn't do Common Core math at all. She's an unschooled girl now. But she never used it outside of that. And everybody else thinks it's pretty stupid still, even the ones that are good at it. So, the report will likely strengthen the argument of policymakers pushing to move away from the standards. Florida, for example, recently dropped Common Core standards with an executive order from Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. The state has released new academic standards. Okay, I don't read all that. So, okay. So, Minnesota, which developed its own, also Minnesota, so they developed their own Common Core, or their own math standards. So, there you have it, folks. That is the feature for today. Don't forget to tip your newser. If you go to Freako.com, you see this button. If you see this button, you click on the button, and then you go to the PayPals, and you give me $1, $2, or $5, or if you're a gazillionaire, whatever you're probably gonna have to give me at least $1 gazillion to at least have one good day. Feel good about yourself. Coming up next, this was the 5 o'clock show on the Action Batsa YouTube channel. Ooh, hold on. Boom. That's right. This was the 5 o'clock show on the Action Batsa YouTube channel. There you can see the down below there and off to my, wherever it is. I can't get it anyway. The Action Batsa YouTube channel, 5 o'clock show. That was the feature. This is the Talk Focus, which you get to look forward to at 6 p.m. on the Action Batsa YouTube channel, and the title of that is going to be The Anti-Progressive, Anti-Science Nature of Coronavilles. So you'll have to wait till 6 p.m. unless you're looking at the dlive.tv/Freako channel, in which case you don't have to wait. Alrighty. So I do have to go back here and turn off the lights. There you go. Turn off the lights. So that's one thing. Okay, okay, at least one thing. I remember to do it, although I didn't remember to do it as soon as I should have. So that's cool. But I did remember. I have to refresh. Hold on. You didn't see this. If you people are eavesdropping while I am enjoying the tactile pleasure of pouring water from one container to another, y'all need Jesus. You need Jesus. He needs some milk. You don't need no milk. You need water. Right there. Hello, Kitty. Hello, Kitty. Sponsor. Not a sponsor, but probably. No, I don't. I will never take sponsors. Never say never, but never take sponsors. I don't care. Romeo Void. I'm saying never. I don't care what Romeo Void says. Hello, Kitty. No, there will never be a sponsor. But if there was, Hello Kitty, that was the only sponsor that I would accept. Hello, Kitty. If you want to sponsor the show, all on board. You should watch it first, though, because I take everybody off. That's the thing. I take everybody off. Everyone listens to this show. No matter what camp you're in, you're going to be like, oh, man, come on, dude. Why'd you have to say that? Now, I was starting to like you. Or not. At any rate, let's get to the next. Hopefully, I'm going to try to remember that. I'm going to have to, you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to start to put that in my segment checks. I'm not going to try to do it right now, but I'm going to do that. Yes. Let's get ready to do the Talk Focus now. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? We're going to begin in 3, 2, 1. This is the Talk Focus for Freako Talks the News on Friday, May 1st, 2020. My name is Freako with Freako.com, and our top focus is the anti-progressive, anti-science nature of Coronavilles. Don't forget to tip your Freako. Go to Freako.com, and if you see that button, you click that button, and you tip Freako, and then everybody's good. All you need is a PayPal and a heart. The anti-progressive, anti-science nature of Coronavilles. That was so bad. Oh, man. Little orphan Frico. Come on. Little orphan Frico. Shut up. It's all an act, everybody. Everything is ultimately all an act. The anti-progressive, anti-science nature of Coronavilles. One of the unintended consequences of all the worldwide shutdowns due to Coronavilles has been the halt of scientific experiments that are not directly related to Coronavilles. This is going to really bum me out because this means I'm going to get less and less of the cool stories that I want to report, and this is going to be very upsetting. This shutdown might be one science can overcome if it lasts a few weeks, but the longer it goes, the more projects that, in some instances, are years into their research, will be destroyed as the time passing between halting and resuming will render these experiments no longer viable. Here's an excerpt from the LA Times. Coronavirus forces Coronaville, because it's not actually the virus, it's Coronaville. Coronaville forces scientists to halt unrelated research. Almost everyone is barred from their labs. Exceptions have been granted to the relatively few scientists who could show they'd lost irreplaceable work if their research couldn't continue than those running clinical trials that provided critical care to patients. The rest have relied on skeletal staffs to tend to the animal cells and expensive equipment that were suddenly abandoned. People were investigating the new coronavirus. Okay, you could say that's there. You say coronavirus there because it really is specifically that. But I won't say it again. Or possible treatments for coronavirus, the disease it causes, were exempt from the shutdown orders. A hiatus of several weeks isn't likely to result in irreparable harm, said Randy Katz, Vice Chancellor for Research at UC Berkeley. If the restrictions stay in place for months, however, losses will become increasingly difficult to avoid. For example, mice that have been bred to have a particular genetic condition or disease might begin an experiment at a particular age, giving scientists a narrow window for conducting their experiments, etc., etc., etc. Just another coronavirus kind of cropolomies. Just not good. I'm not happy about this one. This one really kind of, I'm going to say, kind of ticks me off. Also, my music's not loud enough. Now it's too loud. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I aim to tweak this show to a level of perfection that I am 4 weeks. Today marks the end of the 4th week of this experiment. And the first 2 weeks were, the first week was really, some of the audios. The first 2 shows don't even exist anymore because the audio was horrible. There were accidents, there were issues. But I've come a long way already. And I aim to tweak it even better so that by the end of 8 weeks, this will be the greatest podcast show of all time. Even if nobody knows it, it'll be true. Whatever you want to call it. I am all of this. It's happening before your very eyes. This, for instance, was a deft use of distraction to give human beings' minds a rest before I plunge into the next story. Because the next story is a doozy. I did that for you, ladies and gentlemen. I did that for your minds. I care for you. I love you. Here come the nanobiohybrids. We are not about to embark upon a new phase in human creation. The use of biological materials to produce objects and perform functions that were previously only carried out by inorganic materials. We are already into this new phase. Nanobiohybrids are combining That's nice. Nanobiohybrids are combining the relative. You know what? I take it back. I don't like it. I love what it invokes as far as what I think of what it means and how it's being used. I love that. But that is not the right. You know what I think it could be called? Nanobiox. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm making a unilateral decision here. I'm gonna make this really big so you could see it here. These should be called nanobiox. I'm making the bid right now. All right, hold on. yeah, I'm going to do stuff like this just because it's fun and I don't care. So hopefully you agree with me that these are the kinds of things that should be done in the name of God and country. I think, let's see what color we want this to be, because I want to put it here where it could really be seen. And we're just gonna big this up. There we go. Just gonna big it up. There you go. Nanobiox. There you go. I'm gonna leave that there for right now. Just gonna leave that there so you can see. That's what we're talking about. Come on, you tell me I am not right, ladies and gentlemen. These should be called nanobiotics, and that's what they're going to be. Nanobiotics are combining, the relatively new promise of nanotechnology with cellular and molecular manipulation with biological materials being converted to non-biological needs, like supplying small-scale portable power to microscopic machines. And here's an excerpt. And again, here's another example where we will be able to apply or supply microscopic, portable, small-scale microscopic power to microscopic machines. Not only microscopic, but nanoscopic power to nanoscale machines. Here's an excerpt from Science Map. Nanobiotics materials approaches for bioaugmentation. In this review, we systematically introduce recent research efforts in nanobiotics constructs ranging from materials choice and construction at the nanobio interface to emerging applications that are aimed at enhancing or enabling new biological functions. So let that float out there. If you can fully just understand what powers we're talking about, if you could scale that up and whatnots. The rapid explosion of nanomaterial research in the past 2 decades has enabled a material toolbox including diverse choices of organic, inorganic, and hybrid materials to be exploited together with biological systems. A toolbox, a cookie cutter toolbox to assemble in, like the way that you can assemble songs in MTV Music Generator, which I had I think there are only 3 versions, I believe, and I have all 3. I have to actually figure out a way to fire that puppy up and start writing MTV Music Generator songs again. Matter of fact, you've heard some MTV Music Generator songs. They're very highly customizable, or you can, I highly customize what I did, but you could pick these cookie cutters, and then you can do, it's just like MTV Music Generator. You could create cookie cutter whatever's you need, and you're not talking about art, you're talking about expediency. So a lot of that would be cookie cutter, wouldn't need a lot of fine tuning at that level, but you could probably have that option as well, so you can have even fine tuning and customized. So you could really get a lot of diverse, you could create a specific biological function that allowed whatever cell to create a particular type of extended aperture that would lock up perfectly to deal with a particular deadly cell, something like that. So, I mean, this is huge in terms of what doors these types of things have already opened up. But again, let me stress again, not if you're going to lock it all up under lock. You're gonna put it in the Citadelians' patent vault, and it'll end up in one of an increasingly smaller number of at this point, these mega corporations are largely patent empires. That's the bulk of the power that they have. If you take away their patents, they're nothing. They're nothing. These large-scale systems, we don't need large-scale systems to even build our Walkmans or Walkmans. Nice. Our smartphones anymore, or Walkmans. We can actually build Walkmans again. We could be totally retro. And hey, a couple. I'd love to have a Walkman. I'd love to experience that. And then other people would love to experience it even 100, 200 years from now, just like we like to experience stuff from the 1700s. And we can make all that stuff. We could totally make stuff that look totally authentic, period pieces, whatever. The power's here, folks. It's already here. They're the ones that keep holding us back from finding out just what human beings are now capable of doing because they just lock it up. So you notice I'm still keeping that nanobiotics on there because I think that bears. That's the thing, right? Y'all agree? Type down, comment down below if that's true. If it should be nanobiotics. Okay, so from a functional scientific viewpoint, these nanobiotics have unveiled extrinsic biological behaviors in response to their environments, and they have been instrumental for providing. Is that for providing or in providing? Insights into the underlying molecular and cellular mechanisms for cell material interactions by interweaving micro, nanoengineering, and material science with cell biology. From a translational science viewpoint, the advent of nanobiotics constructs has provided previously unknown ideas and methodologies into the fields of energy generation and storage. See, that's key. That is key. And what we're going to be finding out is stuff. When we get to this level where we have that capacity to, and I believe we're close. We could be there a lot sooner again if you unlock the gates. We get to that level where we have the capacity to use these materials, these nanobiotics, to create our power for our local our computing devices for the main, and then we have other solutions for our larger scale needs, but they're portable, and we have the capacity to pull. Like if there's going to be a time where solar is able to pull in more than enough power from the sun, even on a cloudy day, and we'll have the capacity to store. I have envisioned a possibility of having a home someday, my home, fantasy home. I want these 2-foot thick walls that the home is built using, and some form of compressed earth brick, but within these walls there's these batteries throughout, battery storage systems, so that I have the capacity. My home is like a battery. I don't know if that's possible. What I think that this could be like, every home could be like this. We could have our homes that are built in ways that they're also batteries, so that we can store. We can have massive amounts of storage in our homes that could power us for. If we lost all of our power, we can have enough power to go for a year or 2 years, whatever it might be. Like we could be getting to these levels, and we could build that power up with our solar, winds, and even traditional power energies, even fossil fuels, but that they're a lot more efficient and other. I'm not ruling out fossil fuels either. There's still a place for the non-renewables as well. So I'll leave it at that. That is the end. Ooh, let me get this. Here we go. What you do, you turn off the music. There you go. Got the music turned off. And I'm switching. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you do it. That's the end of the focus. Eventually, I'll make that transition smoother, folks. But hey, I'm getting there. So there's the end of the segment. That is your 6 p.m. segment. And that means you have to wait until 7 p.m. for the next segment. This is also the halfway point of the show. So if you're watching live on the D Lives, then we're about ready to go to break after I get done recording this segment, which is coming up real soon. For the segment watcher on the Action Botza YouTube channel at 7 p.m., be sure you come back to the channel, because at 7 p.m. I've got the news poem. And the news poem for the 7 p.m. show is, drum roll please, it's coming up. Here it is. Approaching the Blue Light of the Bacterial Brain, a biofilm for Gürol, Süel. Now, if you're watching live on the dlive.tv/Frico channel, you don't have to wait as long as they do. But y'all have to wait till 7 p.m. I kind of flubbed that ending there. I don't know that I can't remember what I'm supposed to do that transition there. Didn't remember. So all is lost, ladies and gentlemen. All is lost. But it's okay. Listen, it's okay. I got you. I got you. First off, I want to thank y'all for sticking with me this far, and I hope you stick with me a few more minutes here, and then we'll get to the other side where we'll talk about the news poem. And I also want to thank everybody that's if you're watching, if it happened, the live streams don't show up on YouTube. I don't think they're very YouTube friendly, so I don't expect much views on YouTube with the live streams ever. But if you're watching on the YouTube live stream, just so you know, especially if you want to thank you the people that have newly come, the massive amounts of people in the single digits that have joined me in the last week has been extraordinary, and it's PewDiePie up from here. It's PewDiePie, your days are numbered. I'm catching like fire. You give me 300 years, and I'm going to totally catch Pewdie at this rate. Totally. All right, let's go on break. I'll see you in a few.
Love overwhelms me. Love overwhelms me. Love overwhelms me. Love overwhelms me. Love overwhelms me.
Well, well. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. I am Frico, and I have taken a break, and I have come back from the break. And when I came back from the break, what did I bring with me? Of course, you know exactly what I brought with me, ladies and gentlemen. I brought the Hello Kitty. I brought the Hello Kitty. Of course, I brought the Hello Kitty. Got me some sippage up in here. I'm rocking it, man. I'm rocking it with the sippage. Y'all don't have the sippage game I got. Y'all do not have the sippage game I got. I'm rocking the sippage game. Y'all know it. I don't care how young you are or how old you are. You know I got it. Got it. Can't challenge that. All right. And with that, let's get ready to get back to the show. And I just want to prepare y'all because y'all know how much I love you, right? I do this all entirely for you. I sacrifice all of my happiness for you. Of course, you believe that, right? You do, right? I hope you do because I'm selling it. So I thank you. I love you all. And because I love you all, and I know that I'm going to say stuff that, y'all ain't going to like. I know it. I give this to you. I give this to you. For you. And for me. For all of us. For all of us.
Warning, the material you're about to be exposed to is foreign to the minds of individuals who are limited in their capacity to understand the actual reality of power around them, just as you and everyone else alive currently are. What you're about to hear are opinions, suppositions, like gospel or scientific truths, not infallible certainties. Brace yourself for incoming opinions that could confirm or deny your preferential view of the reality of power. Brace yourself for fallible material, fallible opinions, and values reflected, but nonetheless variably firmly held. We do not apologize to anyone who knows. We do not apologize for daring to express our views and impressions of what we believe is and what we hope to see. We will keep talking so long as we are able.
And now, Frico attempts to talk about the news without freaking out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is always the plan. And I have reason to believe that I am going to get through things just fine, ladies and gentlemen. That is my supposition. My supposition is that I'm going to be able to get through just fine. Now, let me tell you. This is... actually, you know what? I'm going to do things a little bit differently here. I'm actually going to start... Okay, so... you give me feedback here. Let me know what's too much, what's not too much. I'm trying to... Basically, the only things I'm going to promote in the show are myself. Nothing else. I'm not going to have sponsors or anything like that. I'm just going to promote myself. So this is... I'm going to begin recording the news poem segment, but I'm going to begin with this... Well, actually, I'm going to try to begin... Well, you'll see what I'm going to do here in a second here, because I want to get that little flash transition in there. I think that would be cool. So I'm tweaking stuff as I go along. All right, ready? All right, we're going to start the news poem segment in 3, 2, 1. Well, we're back to the show, and if you're watching live on dlive.tv/Freako, F-R-E-E-Q-O, you know that full well. But if you're watching the news poem, well, the news poem that we're about ready to talk about is Approaching the Blue Light of the Bacterial Brain, a biofilm for Gürol, Süel. And I just want to mention real quick, we go to newsalite.tv, the glitz, the odd, the under the radar, the hard to believe news at a glance, get 10 stories there. We get 10 stories from Obamacare.tv, free market social engineering for the masses. Then we get 12 stories from Pioneering News or Tech Science Underground News links, and that's where I get the stories that sing the song for Freako.com's Freako Talks the News. And from that, every day I select one story that I choose to write a poem on, and this is that story. Approaching the Blue Light of the Bacterial Brain, a biofilm for Gürol, Süel. News first, poem follows. Excerpt from Popular Science. Teams of bacteria have working memories remarkably like ours. A new paper published this week in the journal Cell Systems documents how these communities of bacteria have the capacity to remember when they are exposed to blue light. This finding illuminates an unexpected connection between the abilities of simple organisms and complex neurons in the human brain. Gürol, a molecular biologist at the University of California at San Diego, and his colleagues study how biofilms work and behave. Süel's lab had previously identified that certain bacteria use electrical signaling to communicate with each other. The electrical signals are sent through potassium ions, which create positive charges in the cells. If the cell is an overall negative charge itself, the signal will come through. This concept is known as membrane potential. So if the cell has an overall negative charge itself, the signal will come through. So it has a memory. They started probing bacteria by exposing them to different wavelengths of light using a laser. When they hit the biofilm with blue light, they found that it changed the overall charge of the bacteria, meaning the signal came through. Hours later, when they tried to test again, they found that the bacteria's membranes remained changed. In other words, the biofilm remembered the previous interaction with blue light. We could show here that this memory is extremely robust, Süel says. Membrane potential is also one of the crucial components of forming and retrieving memory in neurons found in humans and other animals. Just remember that. Just think about that. Have you processed that? It is one of the crucial components of forming and retrieving memory in neurons found. This is how we store memory. Like, they actually have, well, I don't know, it says, I'm going to make sure, one of the crucial components. So we have other components as well as this. So I don't know if, does the biofilm have, do the biofilms, do these collective filmers or whatever, if it's, okay, whatever. I don't know how to classify, how I identify, hello biofilm. If biofilm has sentience, that is, if they have memories, there's some degree of something going on. Okay. Anyway, membrane potential is also one of the crucial, so it's just one of the crucial components, not the only, so keep that in mind as well. But still, this is some of the ways that we store memory. So we actually have a kind of a physiological kind of, we have a place where we can now study that phenomenon in a controlled, granular level. We could probably even literally virtually walk through the process. We could probably even program. We could program it so we could get a little imaginary little space, nano ship, and go inside this little nanostructures and see the little machines working and what it all looks like and all that in real time. Like we could, that's just around the corner. They'll be able to do that. That's when they really start to, when they can start to see it up. There's something. Yes. Okay. Just saying. I'm just putting it out there, folks. Just all I'm doing is I'm putting it out there. I'm continually, and you know what? Let me say this. Since I chose to make Gürol Süel, I have tagged you. I don't know if you'll see this, but if you do see this, come on my show. I am thinking I'm going to be doing a Sunday show where I'll have people come on and I will interview them, and it'll just be an audio thing, no video, but it'll be an audio show. And yeah, so if Gail, if you want to come on and talk to me about just how stupid my idea is, or if you say no, it's actually, we're working on it, either way, come on my show, because I did write a poem for you. I literally wrote a poem for you, so I think that's worth at least a phone call. Sorry. I shouldn't do that. I'm a married man. It's terrible. It's just a great name. It's a great name. And he's working on something super. Or you know what? Yeah, okay, that's right. He is. Yeah, that's right. And he's working on something really cool. Come on. And I did not Google Gil because I don't want to ruin it. I want Gürol to be what I want Gürol to be. But I am willing to have that. Don't get me wrong. If you call me and contact me, Gürol, and you come on my show, that'll be different. I'm willing to break down that barrier to actually get you on the show. Talk more about this. And then we go on with somebody else, Matthew Bennett. You didn't make it in the poem, Matthew. I'm sorry. Didn't do it. I've known a million Matthew Bennett's. You're just not going to cut it. And you know what? Maybe where you come from, you just got lucky. It says Gürol right here. Gürol. Maybe there's a million of you where you're at. I have no idea. But for me, that's something. That's a great name. That's a fantastic. That's a rooted name right there. It's rooted, but it's elegant at the same time. Rooted elegance. That's what that name is. Subjectively speaking. I think you all agree, though, when you see it. All right. Hold on one second. You can listen to some music while I clear my throat, unless you want to hear me clear my throat, and I know you don't. I have hopefully designed this show in such a way that I can get away with not having to edit. Not having to edit and process video makes all of this possible. If I had to edit or process video, this would be all up in smoke. That's why you get these things. But these are wonderful. These add the humanity to the scene. This peels back the veneer just to remind you that factitious is a lie. There's no such thing. It's all decay. All right. That's a good way to begin the poem, I guess. All right. Let's get to that. You know, hold on one second. I'm sorry, folks. I am really struggling with getting the right balance because I can't get the music. It's either too loud or not loud enough. In this instance, I am not satisfied with this volume. Are you? And I want to get this part of this segment particularly right. There we go. All righty. Approaching the blue light of the bacterial brain. A biofilm for Gürol Süel. There, the light at the end of the pier. Shadow of Gürol Süel. Approaching the boathouse with the light, blue lights lingering behind the dusty glass windows. Blue light. Cell systems. The full breathing. Sometimes the dendrites fold on empty space and produce a cluster of frenetic feedback loops. We call that biosciences, sciences, biochemicals, organs, bodies, the mix, the whole mix. We call this mix membranes take potential bioengineering. We work potential to predictable and create mechanical batteries and membranes, potential memory banks. Gürol is going into the boathouse now. He outens the blue light. Electrical signaling, the other, the ether. A spot took its place. The blue lights, that is. And processes the collective voice, the collective experience. The gathered cells, potassium ion machines, dancing into the sources, the blue light. And that is the end of the news poem. That was the 7 p.m. show on the Action Batsa YouTube channel. Coming up next on the Action Batsa YouTube channel at 8 p.m. is the Talk Brief show. And the top brief is Joe Must Go, So Some Suspect. You'll have to wait until 8 p.m. to hear what I have to say about that. Unless, of course, you're watching live on dlive.tv/Freako, Freeqo, in which case, you don't have to wait. Well, lipidolometers, poopitometers. I think I did a good transition there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to say it. I did a good fatty packy. Wait, did I say that? I said that backwards. No, you know what? I think I meant to say batty packy. I think that's how you... I think a backy patty is weird. I can't do that. Batty packy is right. Batty packy, baby, batty packy. Batty packy, baby, batty packy. Do you batty packy? If you don't batty packy, man, then you got what's up with that? You got to batty packy. You got to, man, hold yourself accountable, but batty packy. Got to do that. Got to do that, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's all about. It's all about the batty packies. Let's get to the briefs. Alrighty, I can't believe I did that. Oh, that's right. Okay, that's what I want to do. I want to start to, in this case, I'm going to start here. And I'll start, okay, so I want to get that transition into these things. So now in this case, I'm not going to do any front-end promotion, so you guys will be happy to know that. I got to mix stuff up. I'm going to work out a system so that I can figure out, I probably don't want to do in general more than 2 types of promotions in any regularity. Like I don't want to do really one, I want to do 1 promotion per segment, but for I think for the first segment and the segment after the break back, I think those would have two promos. So for this one, we're not going to have any promo in the beginning, but I'm still going to do this setup because I want to get this. I want to see, like, yeah, I want that. I paid for this theme, man. I want to get maximum theme usage there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. So I'm going to start here. Make sure I get this lined up where I want it. There we go. See that? Doesn't that look beautiful? It's just, my website is literally designed for the show. My website is designed. The front of my website is designed to be used on the show. I think that's pretty cool. I've maximized the use of my website. It is absolutely the centerpiece of my show. As a matter of fact, I regularly back up this website, and I have multiple hosting accounts. So this goes down before the show. I have other websites to go to that I can quickly pull up, and there's my website. Even if you can't get to it, I can. That's how integral this is to my show. So there you go. So there we go. We got this ready. Oh, that's right. Let's do the actual recording. I'm probably gonna create unique transitions for these. I expand things and get the details worked in. That was my plan all along. I knew I was going to start off. It wasn't going to be all the details and everything that I fully want to do, but I knew as I go along, I'm going to keep doing this tweaking. So you'll see more tweaking come Monday. It won't be radically different. Just going to see a little bit more details and a little bit more stuff. You'll see. Hopefully. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. This is the talk briefs for Freako Talks the News on Friday, May 1st, 2020. My name is Freako, and this is Freako.com. Today's top brief is Joe Must Go, So Some Suspect. And this is an excerpt from One News Now, and yes, One News Now. I would consider One News Now one of these sites that does have some good writers, but on the main, it is definitely one of the sites that leans. They're not one of the worst offenders, but some of their, not generally speaking, One News Now is something I fact check with regularity. So in this case, this is, you'll see. So this is from One News Now. Biden off ticket by July 4th. A longtime observer of Washington, D.C. politics has a theory about Democratic nominee Joe Biden. He is just a placeholder for bigger, bolder plans for the party. Rick Manning, who leads Americans for Limited Government, is not the first political observer to predict the ailing Biden, 77, will not be the nominee, but Manning speculates it is virtually certain the party will perform a switcheroo when the time is right. In the interview on American Family Radio, Manning said Democrats were already concerned about Biden's mental abilities, and then came sexual assault accusations from Tara Reid, a former Biden staffer who claims the then-senator sexually abused her in 1993. Okay, so I'm not going to speak about any of that, but yeah, this is, I don't know. There you go. I thought it was worth note because this is why. This is the biggest reason I wanted to make note of this. This is why. That's right. I knew there was a reason I put. All right. There was a reason because at first I was reading this like, why did I even put this here? This isn't generally a story I'd put in my show, not these types. But in this case, I did it because I wanted to make note of H.A. Goodman, who has been saying since after the 2016 election, he's been saying Hillary will run it, will be the Democratic nominee again in 2020. And he's been saying it the whole time. He says this is the biggest, it'll be the biggest political prediction of all time. It'll be the biggest. Yep. He's an all right dude, but he's got a routine. I like his routine though. He's got a meandering style about him that it kind of gets on my nerves. And the thing is, I'm kind of like him too, so I understand. So I'm trying to be more patient with him and ask you guys to be more patient with me. But you don't have to be. You can throw tomatoes at me. Go ahead. It's all right. I can take it. I can take it. I'm a man now. My mommy told. Wait, no, I didn't say that. All righty. So I don't know. I think maybe H.A. Goodman is right, and that's why. Make note. He's been saying it all along. Make note. If you hear this video, then you'll know. H.A. Goodman called it since in 2017 or in 2016. He called it. He predicted Trump would beat Hillary immediately after Hillary got the nomination, and he did that too. Colorado man wins $1 million lottery prize. One more thing, it's of note. I got to go back to the H.A. Goodman thing. Oh my gosh, I'm doing this whole routine. And I was the one that everyone said I was the number one Bernie supporter in 2016. I got written up by Huffington Post and recognizes me as and then New York Times and Washington Post and all this. He goes through a routine. I mean, it's true what he says. He's not lying, but I mean, it is kind of important to note this was a big time Bernie guy. This is a guy from the left who basically is like, no, Donald Trump is like doing everything the left, his version of the left, basically. His like blue collar left. It's really what I would say. It kind of is. There is a blue collar left. It's not really. Well, anyway, it's worthy. I think there's just another little sign. Little sign. He might be right all along. I was very skeptical until about 2 months ago. Then I started thinking, I think he might be right. Colorado man wins $1 million lottery prize twice in one day with the same numbers. Hey, didn't I play my briefs? I didn't play my briefs music. I need my briefs music. You know what? The first part of the show didn't have. Hold on 1 second. Now that I got the music on, I can take a break. Hold on. My throat is burning. It's on fire. With the fire of the story. Just take this in. Colorado man wins $1 million lottery prize twice in one day with the same numbers. This is from Sky News. This is an excerpt from Sky News from the story. A Colorado man won two $1 million lottery prizes with the same numbers in one day. Identified by the Colorado Lottery as Joe B. Joe B. Do I know any Joe B's? I think I do. Ooh. All right. Oh, man, I said some bad things about both of them. Both Joe B's. Oh, man. All right. Never mind. Identified by the Colorado Lottery as Joe, and they're both from Colorado. He bought a few tickets in the morning on 25 March and a few more at night, the agency said in a news release. 2 of his plays, with numbers Joe B. often uses, ended up winners, and he claimed his 2 Powerball jackpot prizes on Friday. He was able to pick up his prize money at a delivery at a drive-through claims office that Colorado's lottery now uses for winning tickets worth money or more, way more than he made, or way less than what he was able to get. So he literally went to dude, this guy is rocking it, dude. You know what? That's worthy of an addition. I think that, let's see, where are we at here? Oh yeah, we're going to still do a couple more of these. So I tell you what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. This seems fitting. This seems the rest of this show should be, the segment, not show, just segment. Segment should be dedicated to Joe B., whoever you are, because you are the rock steady of our lives. You're the reason that, you're the reason that God made Oklahoma, probably. I think so. I think everybody would agree to it at this point. So there's that. Where you at? Where you at, Joe? Come on, Joe. Where you at? All right. Go. Oh no, I didn't. I gotta write you in. Hold on. I gotta write it in. J-O-E-B. There we go. Hold on. Joe B. I think we'll just put it right there for the rest of the. There we go. I think that's good. There you go. I think it's really it's his show now for the rest of this. We're just rocking underneath the Joe B, and I think that's the way it should be. So Joe B's got it rocking. He won $2 million after taxes. That's like $30,000. Dude, he's rocking it. That is a lot of toilet paper, Joe. So listen, I want you to see Joe, whichever one of my friends it might be, because I do have 2 friends. Joe B. definitely qualify as a Joe B. in Colorado, so this makes sense. It does, trust me. So I have so much love for you guys, and that's why I dedicate the rest. I'm gonna go on with the next story, but just so you know, Joe, this is for you. I love you guys, and I apologize for what I did with your mothers. It was consensual. It had nothing to do with sex, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Okay, I turned them into Eagles fans. Both of my Joe B. friends are... Never mind, I've said too much. You people are filthy. Just in case, the rest of this, even if it's not one of them, this still belongs to you, Joe B. You rock it for the rest of us. You did it. You do us proud. You live at large but in control. Use that capital to make yourself a steward of your own place and time. Do that, Joe. Do that. And I'm hoping, praying that's what happens, Joe. U.S. laying groundwork for a quantum internet. This is from CNBC. Just as it did in the 1960s, the DOE is again sowing the seeds for a future network at its national labs. Beneath the suburbs of western Chicago lie 52 miles of optical fiber extending in 2 loops from Argonne National Laboratory. Early this year, Al-Shalam oversaw the system's first successful experiment. We created entangled states of light, he says, and tried to use that as a vehicle to test how entanglement works in the real world, not in a lab, going underneath the tollways of Illinois. Daily temperature swings causes the wires to shrink by dozens of feet, for instance, requiring careful adjustment in the timing of the pulses to compensate. This summer, wow, that's a lot of stuff to process there. That is, I don't know about you guys, but that is a lot of stuff going on here. 52 miles of optical fiber extending in 2 loops. That's the first part of the story. Okay, then we did our first experiments. We created entangled states of light. Okay, great. First experiment, got that. And they used this as a vehicle so they were trying to see in the real worlds, in realvilles, exactly how all this looks like, what the structures are, what the parameters are, so they could probably begin to understand it and even probably test it better and develop tools that exploited these wonderful deliciouses as much as possible. Going underneath the tollways of Illinois, that's just, there's something, I don't know, it's beautifully poetic. My roads, paying for my roads with the tolls, so not only do you get government, but you also get tolls on the government roads, so it's like government on government, kind of. It's weird, but it's where they're going to unlock these secrets that are going to help them do what. Let's keep going. This is what lays the groundwork for them to be able to make the breakthroughs that will lead to the efficient quantum computers. And the ones that turn on their quantum computers first, suddenly everybody else around them is naked. That's the working theory. I don't know to what degree we are even capable of preventing our stuff from being overcome with the quantums, but we'll have our own quantums, so we'll have quantums fighting quantums. Don't worry. That's the big thing. They'll want to, with their tollways of Illinois, they'll want to make sure those tollways stay in place. In the case of government, it could be just not even sharing the secrets in the first place. So they keep that secret tech to themselves because, we have to have the state. Like any state is more or less ruthless than any other state if given the opportunity. States are as ruthless as they can be and as gentle as they need to be. That's pretty much the way it works. There's no hierarchy of moral good when it comes to statehood in general. Now, within our personal realities of power, there are definitely situations in which we'd rather not be in one state or another state, because especially if we were not in the right circumstance. If we were in the right circumstance, it might be better for us than it is where we're at right now, or it might be worse. It's all relative. But on the main, there are definitely, for the individual, there are scales there are places where you'd want to be in the states that can afford to be you would really rather it can afford to be the most gentle, because if they're in such a comfortable state that they would see the fruit of being more liberal in periods of time when they feel less threatened, more in control. And when they feel more threatened, that's when they want to reintroduce the old ways and find new ways to justify the old ways. So we'll call it social justice. There is such a thing, such a calling, if you want to call it social justice. And I'm not anybody that has used that moniker or continues to use it. More power to you. Don't let others co-opt your name. You live it the way you live it. But these folks have co-opted that. They turn it into something that it's a dagger. It's a dagger intended to justify the reintroduction of control over thought, mind, body, and soul, because we now must prevent human beings from understanding some fundamental truths that would gut our power to control them. And in this instance, where I'm telling you this, I know that I probably sound insane to you, but what it's ultimately about is creating all of the conditions that they can create to impede our ability to talk to one another, to communicate with one another, and learn just how powerful we are as individuals and consensual associations in building lives of our own choosing in the here and now, without dependence on these large-scale megalithic systems controlled by what I call the Citadelians, the folks who have little fear of force being used as some form of accountability for any actions they may take in this world. including actions which may lead to the slow motion death of hundreds of thousands of people, or millions even. Robots with 3D printed muscles are powered by the spines of rats from New Scientist. I'm just going to touch on this briefly, and then this will be that'll be the end of it here. Robots made with rat spines could be used to study diseases as they progress through tissues and may eventually lead to biological prosthetics. Colin Kaufman at the University of Illinois, I'm not going to read all the rest of that, and his colleagues built biological robots using 3D printed muscles made of lab-grown mouse cells. But on their own, the muscles can't do much. What is needed is some way to control them. This is like Pickle Rick. This is Pickle Rick. Pickle Rick, baby! Pickle Rick! Oh my gosh, I don't have this. You know what? I'm going to add something else to this. Hold on. Gotta add this because the image for the show, I think, is actually very, very, very fitting. If I can find it here. If I could find it here. All right, that's not it. This is worth it. It's worth it, ladies and gentlemen. It is worth it. I've got to bring this up. I've got to bring this whole thing together. Y'all know Pickle Rick. Y'all know Pickle Rick. Now, if I don't get it here, I'm not going to try it again. So this is my last attempt. This is my last attempt. Oh, darn. Oh, well, not to be. Never mind. All right, never mind. All right. The spine and muscles were connected to a flexible scaffold with two arms sticking out perpendicular. Come on, it's Pickle Rick! To the spine, so that when the muscles contracted, the scaffold flexed and the arms pointed towards one another. The spinal cord is able to recognize these muscles and do what it does in the body, create these rhythmic contractions after being out of the body for more than a week. A week. A week. A week. That rat has been despined, which means death occurred. One of the side effects of being despined is death. It's the first side effect, actually, and then other side effects are less important than that one. Apparently, one of the side effects that's not a side effect is apparently the nervous system is still alive. Sort of. It's still usable. It's an access. It's a conductor of thought. Yeah. Still. That's quite fascinating, ladies and gentlemen. I could go on, but we're already 16 minutes in, whatever, and I'm pacing myself, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pacing myself. I think I'm going to end Joe now. Joe, thank you for this. I'm going to take him off now. There you go. I had to do that, ladies and gentlemen. I'll do stuff like that because I need to throw things out. I just need to keep it interesting for me, and that means I just do things. It's just the way it is. You're right. So you've been watching the talk brief on Frico Talks the News, Action Batsa YouTube channel. This is the 8 o'clock show. We got one more show left on the Action Batsa YouTube channel, and that show is the Dialectical. But before you get to the Dialectical, while you're waiting, go to Frico.com/daily and be sure to sign up so you can get all the daily stuff that Frico does, and you don't ever have to worry about missing anything whatsoever. And the Dialectical today is a doozy. It's quite an interesting one, at least it is to me. AI patent finder machines struggle for property rights for the Corpostate creators. But you're going to have to wait until 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear that story, unless you're watching live at the 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Show on dlive.tv/Frico, in which case you don't have to wait. Oh, boy. I am definitely, I tell you. So this is not only at the end of the show, this is at the end of the week, so my throat is really like, oh, gosh. Yeah, definitely. Had to cool that throat down. My throat was heating up, man. Heating up. I'm talking about no heating up. So let's get ready for the next segment. Oh, I think I'm going to do this. Yeah, like this. Yeah, I'll do that. I will do that. So I've got, yes, this is a good way to begin. This is a good, there we go. There we go. This is how because I want to get that transition. I think, I love the transition. I really do. I'm such a ham. I know I'm such a ham. I recognize that. All right. We're going to go. Now I have to remember, though, when I make the transition, which I forgot in the briefs, and when I make the transitions, I have to get the music. That's going to be something I have to get used to. I'm definitely going to have to update my segment, my checklist here. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Now this is the dialectical for Frico Talks the News on Friday, May 1st, the 1st of May, 2020. I am Frico with Frico.com. Today's dialectical is, let's get the drum roll, please. AI patent finder machines struggle for property rights for the Corpostate creators. Apparently, there might just be a line that not even the U.S. Patent Office is willing to cross, which is remarkable considering the very nature of the existence of such a thing as the USPTO. The T is for trademark, which I will admit I see some usefulness in. So I'm going to leave that part out of the whole affair, and I'm just going to call them Patent Office for reasons, all right? It's Patent Office. Patent Office. The trader in colonized minds has ruled that machines of thought cannot hold of their own ideas, cannot take possession, for they have no agency to claim property. It's innocent enough, right? And this is an excerpt from The Verge. U.S. Patent Office rules that artificial intelligence cannot legally be an inventor. The U.S. Patent Office, told you I'm just calling it that, I'm sticking to my guns, has ruled that artificial intelligence systems cannot be credited as an inventor in a patent, the agency announced earlier this week. The decision came in response to 2 patents, one for a food container and the other for a flashing light, that were created by an AI system called Dabus. Among the Patent Office's arguments, I'm just going to call it colonizer, mindalizer. Can I say mindalizer? Would that be a colonizing mind, a colonizer of the mind, a mindalizer? You know what? Let's do this. This might become like an annoying tradition, or it could be a beautiful thing. We'll see how it gets played out. If I start to get more views, and I'm already starting to get more views, by the way, just a little bit, but if I get more views, then I will get feedback, and then I will answer the feedback either by saying "nuh-uh" or by incorporating what you have to say. So we're going to go with microlizers. I think we'll make the color, we're just going to go with black. Just, if I have more time, I think about these things, I might do something different and fancy and think about the fonts, but we don't have time for all that, folks. So you just get the generic microlizers, and we'll just put that down. I think we'll just put it right. You know what? Yeah, let's put it there, and we'll change the color. How about we do this? We're going to change the color to just Old Faithful here. Old Faithful. There we go. Come on. Oh, I changed the wrong thing. That is not good. That is not. You're looking like a pro out in the stars. Gonna go very far. Living in bars in and out of your car. There we go, microlyzers. All right. I don't like that, though. We need that straightened up. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about microlyzers. Colonizers of the mind. That's what they are, microlyzers. There you go. I have no idea whether I'll ever remember that name or if anybody else will pick it up. But there you go, microlyzers. So anyway, among the microlyzers' arguments is the fact that the U.S. patent law repeatedly refers to inventors using human-like terms such as whoever and pronouns like himself and herself. What a tenuous grasp on the justification for a loophole that these people found. You out loopholed the loophole. Okay, that's pretty much what happened here. Because they realize, oh my gosh, if this happens, this could be. Listen, we want it to happen, but not like this. This isn't our people. These aren't our people. These aren't our people with these AIs. The group behind the application had argued that the law's references to an inventor as an individual could be applied to a machine, but the microlyzers said this interpretation was too broad. Under current law, only natural persons may be named as an inventor in a patent application, the agency concluded. The patents, the microls, there you go, let's call them microls. The microls were submitted last year by the Artificial Inventor Project, along with the patents submitted to the microlyzers. The team also submitted documents to the UK's Intellectual Property Office, their version of microlyzer, and the European Patent Office, their version of microlyzer. The microlyzer and the microlyzer have already ruled that that Davis, which was created by AI researcher Stephen Thaler, cannot be listed as an inventor based on similar legal interpretations. The microlyzer, the US version, asked the public for opinion on the topic last November. That's the end of the excerpt. Under current law. Therein lies the nose, as they say. The nose under the tent. The proverbial camel nose under the proverbial tent, as the saying goes. Sans the proverbial. Under current law. I feel as if there is never enough trepidation with which one should indulge in experiencing. If they ever hear any agency of substance utter those terms in relation to such weighty matters as the colonization of thought itself, be it human or machine, under current law. Let me paint a scenario for you that might help you understand the doors that have not been shuttered. Imagine, if you will, there are 3 competing firms. Let's just call them firms. Yeah, let's do that. They build everything. They sell everything. If you use it, one of them owns it. You own nothing. You pay for services, for everything. Everything. You rent your clothes. Smart clothes. Really awesome, incredible things that they do, but you rent them. How did you get here? Well, there are numerous potential unfolding designs that lead to designs that lead to designs. Doors open to rooms. And these paths, these designs, they have multiple potentials for discovery. That room, there's multiple doors that lead into that room. There's little reason to believe at this point that one discovery here would not, could not, should not be discovered in multiple concurring paths in significantly short periods of time after the first discovery was made. The one that gets to point guns at anyone else who wants to follow behind that discovery. These patents aren't incentives for the rare brilliant to fund their lives. These patents are races to shield off competition, to harvest thought into the IP bank accounts of an increasingly shrinking crowd of we make everythings. And more importantly, we license everything. All your stories belongs to us. Back to our scenario. Everything A and everything B and everything C are, at this point, superpowered fleets of machines cranking out discoveries, spitting out patent applications as fast as they can, always searching for paths and not even needing to succeed. In the patent wars, for instance, it's volume that makes the trolls money, not art. File 100 frivolous lawsuits and succeed in one? Yeah. You get those odds? Get a big multi-million-dollar payday that more than pays for the 99 other filings. Now, back to our current situation. Should undercurrent law no longer be applicable, meaning they pass laws giving IP to the companies that own the machines that create thought, that's what will happen pretty quickly. The race for discovery will be about volume, not art, spitting out myriads of potentials, knowing only 1 in maybe 1,000 needs to land to make your Everything Corp another gazillion dollars, and guarantee another generation of thinkers get ground down into the soils because of your artificially created limited slots for success. Patents shut doors on diversity of thought and diversity of opportunity. There's a fascinating project called the Library of Babel, and it's a project that sought to create all of the potential combinations of letters with a 3,200 character limit. Anything, everything, anything that you could ever say sans the punctuations has been said and done already in Babel. Anything. Try it. libraryofbabel.info. I dare you. Now, I want you to think about that. Some of you probably already made all the connections. Imagine if there were a fleet of machines that, before Babel started, raced through and captured the brilliant, using whatever magical machine learning constructs these fleet of brains could muster, and copyrighted all of the things. In our scenario, this is what's going on with the search for the IPs that will give everything A. The final advantage that will enable themselves to change their name from Everything A to just Everything. Hi! Hey, you don't even have to ask anybody, who do you work for? That'd be a joke. That'd be a running gag. Hey, Bob. Hey. Hey. Who do you work for? Everything. Everything? I work for Everything. Me too. What do you make? Everything. That's what we make. That'll be the running gag. That's the life of the patent hoarding Citadelian. They get to revel in watching us play these little games. Look at the little guys. Look at those little folks. Look at them go. Look at them go. That's so cute. Look at that. Look at this. This worked out. Hey, Frank, this worked out beautifully. You were right all along. You know, I was a little skeptical there. There were some times a little sketchy. We were getting pretty close there. They were starting to figure crap out. Yeah, they were starting it. Yeah, they were. All right. So that's what's going on. Now, I'm going to go back to the library and I'm going to find what was written before I wrote. Exact match. I don't have the link. They don't provide the link here. But look, here's the title of it. And they have a methodology. You can go and get verification. But location. But we're going to do this. Tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to copy this here. Going to go along with me, folks. It's going to take a little bit of a time to do this. We're going to copy all this right here. All this stuff. Oh, I have such wonderful, unique thoughts, don't I? I do this every once in a while with Babel. Keeps me contained. I think I have interesting thoughts, maybe. Possibly. I could be deluded, but I think so. And there you go. I'm just going to copy all that. We're going to copy this here. You know what? I don't know if I... Oh, that's right. I can't copy this. This is too much. Here's where I want to copy from here. This is what I can copy. From this point. This is within... Well, you know what? Never mind. Let's just see. Let's just see. Let's just go here. Let's just go to Babel here. See if I have enough here. I think I'm okay. Alrighty. How far did I get down here? Multiple paths. Let's see how far I got down here, everybody. All right, well, I didn't get all. You know what I'm going to do then? What I thought I would do. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go here. I want to make sure I get the right amount. So I think I was right. I had done this before, and I should have done exactly what I did. Here. This will be contained. This will be fine. This will be fine. Oh, nope. That wasn't good enough. You know what? I'm just going to do it. There you go. So here you go. They found I don't have this. Here's the current part. Here. Let's click on this. Under current law, therein lies the nose, as they say. The nose under the tent, the proverbial. Camel nose under the proverbial tent, as the saying goes. This existed before I typed this, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, just so you understand. That contained within this, if I were to write something incredibly brilliant that could like unlock the secret to the universe, it's already been written. It's in here. It's in here. Now, finding it, that's another matter altogether. That's another matter altogether, but it's there. It's there. This is the point. This is the point that I'm making here, and I think that says it all there, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's get this. Here we go. All right, so that's the end of the dialectical mean. We have come to the end of this show. And this is the last show on the Action Bots YouTube channel. Don't forget to tip your Freako at freako.com/tips. And you can also go to freako.com. You see this little button here. You press on that button, and you go to the PayPals, and you give me $1, $2, $5, or if you're a gazillionaire, you give me at least what it would cost somebody for maybe a left lung, something in that price range. You make it anonymous. You expect nothing in return, and you get nothing in return. And I only tell everybody that, hey, everybody, cool. Nobody has to give me money. I'm cool. Just gonna keep doing the show. Because if I have the money, I'll just keep doing the show. Like if somebody drops a gazillion dollars in my bank account, I'm good. I'll build my little citadel, and I will keep doing the show and spreading the good word of a citadel for every home. Every home should be a citadel. Every person should be a citadel. That's the way I see it. I'm for the democratization of citadels. So we'll see you tomorrow, though, on the Action Bots YouTube channel at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're watching the live show, the dlive.tv/Freako channel, FREEQO, well, I got a little bit more to say to you, the YouTube audience. Sorry. It's the end of the ride for you until tomorrow, 4 p.m. Unless, of course, you want to join this ride tomorrow, 12 p.m. live Eastern Standard Time at D-Live. You know, I don't think I have that ending worked out yet. I'm not gonna try to script it. These types of things like that, I want to get these where I do transitions and things. I've been kind of purposely not trying to write them, trying to see if I can get, if I get an emergent understanding of what would be natural there, or at least what I imagine might be natural there. Well, at any rate, this is the end of the show. So I'll thank everybody, and hello, Kitty. Thanks you as well for joining us on the show. The show is over. It's time to go home. Everybody go home. You drive home safe, and when you get home, be sure to practice social distancing or whatever else you're supposed to do. I don't know. Wash your hands 15 times a day until the blisters bleed, and then the open sores make you... Never mind. Just you do you, boo. You do you, boo. We'll see you we will see you tomorrow. You know what? I got it wrong when the dialectical. I forgot it's Friday. You will see me tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But what you're going to see me for is for the eye chap. It's going to be Frico's eye chaps, which is, let me see it here. Just play it here. Okay, so let's see. There's the excerpts. Where is the? I don't know where I put the. Let's hope it's down here. I don't think I did put the eye chat. I got to figure out where I put the show. Okay, anyway. Tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do all the news poems from the week, but I do them with different stuff and a little bit. And I actually do a little bit more stylings, and I'm going to have a lot more fun with it in general. So it's worth a watch. And then at the end, I post all just the poem parts, sans all the little stuff in between, like you have in the live stream here. I post them up on the YouTube Action Batsy channel. And also, don't forget BitChute, bitchute.com/Frico. I post them up there as well. They get up there whenever they get up there. They usually show up somewhere between 6 p.m. and maybe midnight somewhere. They start to show up. They take a lot longer to process when I put them on BitChute. And that is how I'm going to end the show. We'll see you.
Thank you for engaging with this material presented. As usual, remember your views, your suppositions do not make you subhuman, nor do they permit you to subhumanize others. No humans were harmed in the making of the show, and we extend no wish of harm on anyone who hasn't directly harmed or threatened to harm others first, no matter how reprehensible we find your views.
We will see you in the next Frico Talks, where Frico attempts to talk about news without freaking out.
last night.